There we go. Now we're up and running. Look at this. New technology, eh? Amazing. Amazing. Give it a few minutes and we'll jump right in. I'm going to look at online, see what people are saying about this new TLP. Give my thoughts, give my opinion. Let's just get a bit of light. There we go. How's everyone doing? I'm just playing around. I've never done this before. Let's see who we can get in. Let's talk about this new Oakwynd server, whatever they're calling it. I don't know. Let's edit this. There we go. Do. Who wants to come in and let's talk about this new TLP, this new Everquest TLP. Where do we start? Where do we start with this TLP? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where we start with this new TLP. See if this works. Ooh, look at that. I seem to move the background and then I'm not as intrusive. There we go. Let's hop on. Oh, where did you go? There we go. Where do we start with this? The new producers ladder that came out today, you know, I always get excited. I always get excited every time this year. Oh, something new, a new TLP. And I don't know. I don't think this is quite what I wanted, but let's break it down. Let's break it down. And if you're here, say hi. So we're gonna look at some raids, great, you know. For the new some raids for the new expansion, whatever. I don't really care about that. I'm sure somebody does. How many people play live? That's what I want to know. There's at least a few servers. Genuine Brad, how you doing? See, a TLP that starts with Lucklin. Yes, but I've just played a video and I still think it rings true that a TLP that doesn't start at Classic, there's so many players that just won't start any later than classic. It's a bit crazy. Like, if it's not classic, they won't play it. And then we got this thing. Although you can hear me, my volume's alright. I totally didn't test it. I just kind of jumped on. So if you can't hear me, let me know if the music's too loud. And I think this year's TLP, I don't know whether they just put a bunch of ideas into a hat, and like Jen Chan picked out 3 ideas. Like, oh, this one, oh, legacy characters, oh, locked encounters. You know, because that's kind of what it feels like to me this year. And I think that's what it means to quite a lot of people that I just aren't. I don't know. My first impressions are not great with this one. I don't know. I keep saying that. I don't know, and I simply don't know how I feel about this server this year. This is so long. Like, did they really need to do that? Did they really need to go all the way down to Night of Shadows? Great, the server gets so much fun in Night of Shadows. 400% rare spawn modifier. But until then, it's very vanilla start. A very vanilla start. Have you looked at this yet, Brad? Have you been through and looked at what this server's going to bring this year? Hey, Stevens. Hey, man, I've not been around here. You know what? I haven't really played realistically for 3 months. So we get a new server in May, Brad. As we know, it's called Oakwynd. It's going to launch in May, and evolving rule set progression server is what they're calling it. And it's legacy the biggest 3 things on it: legacy characters. So I read this that they don't want people boxing, but they want to encourage you to roll alts. And that's 100% what this is about. Like, they don't want people 3-4 boxing. They want you to play one character, get it to max, and then roll a box, and you get a little bit of a boost from that, up to an insane boost of 100% XP, which is kind of crazy. But like, you get one character to 50 or 60, whatever max is at the time, 10% bonus XP on your next character. That's not a lot, but coupled with, you know, the pot, because they still want to sell you those pots. Remember that they always want to sell you those pots. It's not bad. Like, when you start getting to 6 characters, then you're gonna see a big difference. There's not really too different from Yellowknife. Yellowknife was a very vanilla server. The biggest difference on this server is one of the legacy characters. If you like to alt, or if you want a main change, you get a little bit of a boost to catch up, and this encounter lock-in. Now, if you ever played WoW, the name turns grey and nobody else can attack it. That's what they're doing here. And I said in my video, I'm just concerned that doesn't work for EverQuest. For casual players, it sounds really good. Like, you can group together, you can pull mobs, and it's locked for your group. No one's going to steal your pull. None of that kind of stuff's going to happen. And I think why they really want to bring this in is to stop the power levelers. So those groups of people that run around with 4 enchanters, chain stunning, pulling the whole zones, that's what they want to get rid of. So yes, exactly right, Brad. It's whoever gets that first hit, it's locked to their group or their raid, depending on the mob. But yeah, it gets locked. And I don't think they've necessarily thought this through a great deal. They want to get rid of the power levelers, right? So you think how it works now. You've got someone running around the whole zone, brings it all in, tags it all. You need the low level group, They need it at low level. You need a low levels in the group to do some damage, right? So they get the credit for the XP. So they do the lowest level bard song does 1 damage to everything. So now that's going to be locked to that group, meaning anyone out of group won't be able to cast on those mobs. So those enchanters that are level 60 chain stunning won't land. So it's absolutely killed the power leveling. The only way to power level now will be damage shields and things. They should allow instancing for everyone. Yeah, that's an idea that would be good, right? You can sort of do it now for a couple of zones, but it screws you over from raiding. But yeah, I agree they should have allowed more instancing. PvP, I don't know about PvP. They're doing PvP again in EQ2. It's been many years since I PvP'd in Everquest. I'll be interesting to see how it plays now. But this locks thing, it's going to create so much griefing. PvP teams like guild on guild kind of stuff. Wasn't there a server like that with like Sullen Zek or something that was like teams or factioned or something like that? But this is going to create so much grief in this locked encounters. Like raid mobs. Like open world DPS racing is done. It's over. It ain't never going to happen ever again on this server. It can't happen. All it takes is one monk to tag a dragon in TOV or to tag Nagi or whatever, and that's it, locked. That's done, right? What if someone there's spots in zones where you can go where mobs will stay locked on you but can never reach you. Group level, Soul B's notorious for it. In TOV, you could just tag a mob and run over the lava. And that the mob can never reach you, but it will stay locked and aggroed onto you. So if you can keep a mob aggroed onto you, it'll never open up, because it doesn't open up until it resets and loses aggro. So it's going to create so much grief in this rule set. And think about it like a group level, right? It is a DPS race. Who can do the most? Well, now it's who's the first to do damage. And mobs spawn before you see them in game. There is a slight delay. So you're there spamming like an instant cast AoE, and there's some items that will cast an instant AoE for wizards. You're spamming that because the mob's about to spawn. That's it's ridiculous. They truly haven't thought this through. So now, instead of you're gonna have 30-40 characters in a zone at, say, I don't know, a 3D, just spamming instant click. That's all it's gonna be. PvP teams, faction controls the one little area and makes it harder to go into certain areas. Scott Nicholas, worthless server. Yeah. Chrono ruined the game, but it also saved the game. It wouldn't exist today without Chrono. I'm fairly certain of that. And the server does nothing to address it. You're right, it doesn't. Those people that are still going to be camping these mobs, they're still going to be selling loot rights to items. Doesn't address any of that. Still, I would have liked to see them throwing in the free trade on this server. If it was free trade, I'd be more confident in it. We'll see. We'll see. And True Box again. They don't want you boxing on this server. That's why they've made it. They want you level up one account, level up a character, go back, level up an alt to get the bonus. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're thinking this year. And I just want to see. I wonder what. I haven't looked at some of the forums yet, so. You talk to someone in EC who runs a computer nest in the woods and actually makes a living selling chrono. Yeah, people do make a living selling chrono. A lot of people. A whole lot of people. Mischief was notorious for it. Mischief was really notorious for the PV because everything. So for chrono selling, because it was so open, you could get everything. And I know people out there that were running full raids of just boxes and just getting all the loot, selling it, getting the chronos and selling the chronos on those websites, $10 a pop. You know, you could clear a couple of hundred chrono a night easily. But I mean, that's taking it to an extreme. I'd never do that. That's going too far. So I'm curious what the forums have to say. If there's anyone in there yet. List of exploits / griefing in counter locking. There you go. Easy money. It's a lot to set up though. Like 80 boxes or whatever, between 4 or 5 people. They used a lot of custom. The person I knew did it used a lot of custom scripts and things like that. List of exploits griefing. Let's see what they've got. Easier to steal name from groups because you don't have to DPS. You just tag. Yeah, but that wouldn't be the way to do it. Locking down a spawn point. Think Hainston, Bootstrudder in Classic. You could lock it down all day. Pain, Soul, and Kunark. You just keep the mob tagged and run around. So they'll never spawn. Yeah, exactly. This is what it said. This server is Grief Central. This will be the first server with no J-boots and no people in VP. Kiting an entire zone so no one can XP, get loot. Yeah, potentially someone could do that. Just tag everything. Know how to group help. Yeah, well, you can heal, you can buff. Yeah, whoever's put this together is wrong on that. They can still buff you. Terrible changes for open world races. Yeah, exactly as I said. In my video, one of the best memories I have was an AOW DPS race. Bypassing trash clears, have an ungroup bard, run and train everything. Have the raid group move up to whatever camp. Bad phase dies, raid group watch the train safely path back. So yeah, you can still do that. Raid 2 has the clerics, they never get aggro. This is what I'm saying, they have not thought through this rule set. Someone's got, this is a great idea to deal with a PLer, but it just doesn't work in this game. Park a mage in a spot where no pathers go into your V. Keep a lord or lady aggroed. No open world Vulek spawns for all of Velius. Training AoE casting mobs and open world bosses on top of other groups. They can't kill it. Oh yeah, think about that, alright? They won't be able to kill it. It take no damage. Does take the damage from the AoE without recourse. So it's say, oh yeah, indefinitely locking in an NPC will result in a suspension. Yeah, but how many? They're so hands off with customer service now. They're so hands off with customer service. Crushbone, I roll off Crushbone. Sorry, noob, it's 5 chrono to play here. Randall, you're right. This does sound like a Griefer's wet dream. And counter locking sounds like it'll break the game. Yeah. Mind you, if they leave it in, I'll abuse the heck of it myself. Oh, dear me. Makes things like AOW weird because the way that that encounter works. You could have a guild doing open world that like the AOW cycle, and then someone just comes in and tags AOW as you're prepping to engage him. Adam, hello. We're just looking at what some people are thinking, talking about the new TLP that they announced today. Hey, I can look at my archery on your kills. Yep. So, could they not have tested this on the test server? Can you imagine actually testing things on the test server instead of on a new TL? And this is what I don't understand. That TLPs bring in a lot of revenue to this company. Why are they using it as a test bed for live? It honestly should be the other way around. Did the power forms always explode when a new TLP is launched? Yeah, but I think this time, like, they really haven't thought about what this encounter locking is going to do to the game. So, like, last year, yes, there was a lot of people saying, oh, this is a bad server for Jelinek, and it was just a plain server. The last time I can only remember there being like really huge pushback was at Mangler, because the initial rule set for Mangler was, it was bad. They wanted it to be a hardcore server, and it was just a punishment server, and it did get changed. So maybe we'll see some changes or some more information coming out for the encounter locking. But like the exploitations, I mean, you're right. I love Oakwind's rule set. I have found my new TLP home. I don't know if there are some people like I think it appeals maybe more to a casual player base. We'll see. People want free trade. That's the problem. They've given you the free trade carrot on Mischief, and everybody wants it now. Free trade would have made this server pretty nice. Without it, it's pretty blah. Yeah, I can probably agree to that one. Encounter lock it is terrible. Otherwise, I would switch. The things I like, if I go back, I like the loot, legacy characters, things that they're doing here, like the Kunak loot modifier, 125%. That's interesting. Like those kind of little things that get you a little bit more, because like you said, classic, they want to get people in, and there's so many people that will only play on a TLP if it starts in classic. Right, there's so many of those. So what they want to do is get those players in and maybe keep them around by giving them these little like nudges, like, oh, you stay around for Kunak, you'll get a little bit more loot. Oh, Velius, you got that quest piece in TOV, well now it's going to be a little bit easier to do the turn-in. Or you get more AAs in Lucklin. I wish that one was a bit higher up though, the lowered spawn times. And all NPCs to 85%. That'd be a good one. I like that one. So it's not all bad, this server. There are some like decent ideas that are in there. Like I said, it just feels like she put her hand into a hat and picked out three ideas from the devs. Let's do this evolving server idea. Let's throw in that in encounter lock. Oh, and legacy characters. Let's just put all those in. Let's leave free trade in the heart this year. Yeah, the loot modifier, and it does stay. That's the thing, right? These stay. Once they're unlocked, they stay. So that loot modifier is going to roll into Velius. And then you get down to, where is it? Is that the next one? Oh no. Evolving item. Where's the next one? So you got loot there. Where's the next loot? Rare spawn modifier. That's nice. So loot 125% Kunak and then 200% in TSS. Yeah, nothing exciting about it. This is the only thing I like, but again, it's on the weaker side though. You know, initially, like the numbers should be bigger initial. Like 125% faction So what? 125% AAs. Relax True Box to free. Yeah, that should be further up. Otherwise, you're just making people install like virtual machines for longer. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to come on and chat, share my thoughts. I just put out a new video. I go a little bit more in detail. I just want to see what other people are thinking about this as well. This TLP sounds great. My wife and I and some friends will give it a try. That's the thing. I think this server appeals to casual players. I think that's what it does. It doesn't appeal to like the group of players that maybe come back and play year after year. But like you read comments like that, the wife and I and some friends will come give it a try. Sounds like casual to me. A lot of people cried about encounter locking, but I think they're being over dramatic. You like the idea of keeping people from doing the crazy boxing and chrono sound? Yeah, totally. Totally, I am completely on board with stopping those crazy boxes. I'm not against boxing, but what I don't like is like the people that warp around the zones with the box crew, that take over whole zones. Yeah, if someone wants to come in and box a raid themselves in an instance, I have no problem with that. Yeah, if they want to run 30 accounts and do that, and it's out of the way in their own instance, that's how you get your fun. I'm cool with that. But if you're like interfering outside, then that's the crazy boxing, running around and warping. Yeah, that's always been a turn off for me. Server's gonna be dead on arrival. Yeah, Diablo 4 release. That's gonna pull people away. I don't know. Different game. This server sounds like it was created by developers nerding out on what they could do instead of what maybe people actually want. You have a group of friends together, you should not be frustrated by one person and not meet your loot XP goals because some things are permacamped. Yeah. And yelling at you encountered some of the craziest stuff in the hole. It ruined a few groups I was in and when we couldn't get mobs. Yeah. And that was still it's been part of the game for a long time. Ever since they stopped kind of like that more hands-on customer service, then changed it completely. Then I'm torn between this server rule set. It's so awful or happy because it means mischief will prosper. Well, yeah, mischief was the sweet spot. See if anybody else is moaning. New TLP flatten the Zem. Well, like the legacy characters, why didn't they add in key into that? Yeah, we want you to do more alts. Great. I don't want to do the alts, the alt VP key 8 times or whatever. That sounds awful. Doing it once is more than enough, and that's horrible. After discussion, Ascendo indicated we should direct our feedback onto the thread. Oh, okay. I dread to think what Everquest Discord is like. Have a meeting. Devs collectively ask themselves, who does this server target? Less than 1% of the player base. Kind of weird if it's for casual. It should be more than 2 months unlocks. No, 2 months is way more than enough. I'm going to be honest. 2 months of classic is more than enough. 2 months of Kunark is like 6 weeks too long, honestly. Hard for boxes to fight back against 2 or 3 people attacking them. Get priests in your group, but you can just blind also. PvP, I don't know. A lot of people have been talking about the PvP, and I think we are getting closer to maybe getting one. than we were a few years ago when those people tried to hold a protest or whatever it was on one of the servers. But no, 2 months is if you've ever done a TLP before, 2 months is more than enough, even for casual. Like, you kind of get bored. You kind of get bored of doing the same raids 8 times. And the problem is early on, like, Kunark is so barren of content. People think it's like the best expansion ever, but it's so devoid of actual content. You're still doing like classic content in Kunark. You're still doing Nagi and Vox, because why would you do Gore when Vox drops the same stuff and is easier? You're still doing Plane of Sky, and that's what I said. That's for like 16 weeks of Plane of Sky. Velius went on too long. Yeah, it does. People, again, Velius is a really nice expansion, but getting towards the back end of it, you burn out. I burn out hard in Velius a lot. Even though I love it, even though I love Velks, and not so much TOV. I won't say I love TOV, but like raiding it. But it's a fun expansion. But yeah, I'm just hoping to get to Lucklin every time. But that Velius drag is hard. A lot of people burn out in Kunark just because there's nothing to do. Oh, and that's a shame because I love Chardok. I always make sure I like level up, do that Chardok quest, and get faction with them. But it's tough. If you're tweaking counterlocks to eliminate trading and PLing, it will be amazing. And counterlocking is obviously going to be very complicated. Hats off to the devs if they can pull this off. I don't think they can pull it off. I really don't. You get burned by Lucklin comes around, yeah. Stun should still work on lock encounters. That guy wants the PLs to stay. Disappointed people that love free trade. I don't think it is going to boost Mischief at this point. Mischief is too far down the line. Not many people have interest in that content, like where Mischief is at now. It's just a shame there's some good content there. Enchanter becomes incredibly boring. Yeah, you're doing nothing in raids. I've always wanted to play an Enchanter, but like dealing with buffs and tells, especially early on, like with mobs that dispel constantly, and you have to reapply, and then a pet, and then you got people shouting at you on Discord because your pet's running off, and that's all you're doing. Pet attack. That's you in raids. Pet attack. I think I might box an Enchanter if I do one this like next time round. Early raids with Enchanter is fun because of the pet. And hey, talk. Enchanter is fun if you like multitasking. Yeah. There's just not a lot of people talking. One sec. Sorry, wife bugging me. Doing Plane of Hate in Classic is intense. Yeah, Hate's a good one. They commented in a video, disappointed in this. You only see a bard running around the entire zone, tagging mobs. Yeah. And not killing to troll. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. It's opens them up to so much griefing. So much grief. I don't think they thought that part through. They thought, how do we get rid of PLers? And that was the number one train of thought. They clearly don't like people PLing and selling chronos and all the chronos exchanging hands. They must have ran numbers on that, and that's exactly what they're trying to get rid of with this. And they've not kind of really thought about the more trolley aspects of the community which exist. That's half the reason of the monk class, right? That people are going to have some fun with this. I don't know. I wonder what you're half tempted just to troll this TI. There's going to be so many suspensions being thrown out on this server. Yeah. I wonder what Fires of Heaven is it? Let's have a look. Oh, Brave browser. Fires of Heaven forum. Let's see what they're saying. This is probably where the more like hardcore community hang out. Yeah, well, it goes a step further than that. They'll talk not just ancient Cyclops. It's like Pain Soul. People could be locked out entirely from VP. Here we go. Wow, they made a rule set that is worse than anyone's I Know Guy's rule set. Both of these are equal to features, max levels, and counter lock-in. Can't wait to be purposely trained by someone when I'm fighting a raid target. I haven't actively engaged, but since I have PB AoEs, it'll accidentally engage the mob, and they'll be. This is tone deaf. So the more like hardcore elements of the community clearly don't like it. After you level your character to 50, your next on the account gets a 10% XP bonus. And that XP bonus goes away the second Kunat launches. Yeah, that's right, it does. And then you have to grind back up, and then guess what? Yeah, you get your 10% again. A lot of posting on Fires of Heaven, that's for sure. Instead of aggro locks, it should have built-in lists. This is like in the new iPhone. Oh, every year it's like this. Here we go. This is the item that you want, right? This is the one I was talking about. This item's going to be so OP on this server. It's insane. The Staff of Temperate Flux. How is it going to work if someone's going to warp in, instant tag something, and you have absolutely zero recourse? You can't pull it off them, you can't snare it, spam an aggro click, have your group move up and DPS or ace it, charm or anything. Even setting aside the big cheats, which there are some, it's going to be 100% who gets aggro first. So let's say you want to be a camp and another group wants the same camp. Instead of the stronger group winning the races and getting the kills, it's just going to be whoever is faster on the trigger. You're not going to be able to keep people out, no matter how weak a group is comparatively. All they need to do is get aggro first. So normal people are going to get outmatched. Yeah. Yep, right there. You'll just end up splitting the camp in half, and it'll be bad for everyone. It's also going to blow if someone's just hanging around by themselves or in a box, is eating spawns. Someone could just stand where your camp is, where it's safe, and pull frogs to your group, and you can't do anything about it. Why, you can, other than leave. People are going to lose it when some soloer is kiting their mobs in their camp, and they just have to put up with it. Here's what an S plus tier item is going to look like on Oakwynd. A staff of, because it's that's an instant class clicky, isn't it? Been following Embers Adrift, Monsters and Memories, and Pathian. Yeah, I've had I try and keep away from MMO news because I kind of get excited, and then you know, these things are always about 5 years out, so I don't let myself get hyped up. So Pantheon is, I forgot all about that 10 years ago, and that thing's never coming out. Any guild that's slow to assemble for an open world target just needs one member who knows what they're doing, who can just kite it around, who can kite around Tormax or Talendor until enough people show up. Did your guy get aggro first? Yes, no. That's all you have to do. Kiting around a full wing of Vexval to get yourself take all the time you need. It's not your server's premier Uber guild is going to jack it. Yeah, because they won't be able to do anything. Traditional contesting is dead. Racing strategy is dead. The meta is kiting. Just kite forever while you get your team together. People are going to love it once they see it in action. I won't read that bit. People are not happy on, like, the hardcore on Fires of Heaven, not liking it. The legacy character thing would make more sense if it was free trade. Yeah, it would, because then you can, it's easier to gear out your boxes. Yeah, Count Lord Begurgle, make people pay 10, as long as you can always guarantee you're the first to kill it, talk, because that's what you have to do, the first to engage. Does open world raids like matter anymore though? Yeah, they do. I'd say yeah, they do for some of the player base. Rasman, and like you do get guilds that will do open world, like if it's up for sure, and then you get those guilds that Batphones still happen on these TLPs. And you know, if someone wants to screw around with that guild, they just go and engage it and hide where the mob can't get them. You can invite them to your group so they can get the kill, yeah. As long as you pay the chrono. Upward kills are tied to epic weapons. Yep, Begurgle as Talk, the guy in Soleil for Cleric. Trying to think what else he can only do in open world, top of my head. I mean, the Enchanter epic's no worse because that's still really bad. I forget about the Enchanter one, it's always bad, it's still going to be bad, and this isn't going to change that. But someone said earlier, this could be the first server where there are no J boots and where there are no VP keys. Because someone can lock both those down. Cleric Epic, you're right, it does have a lot of bottlenecks and you can make it worse. Enchanter Epic, it does suck. It's fun, it's a nice click, but then it looks cool, but it's terrible. Lose the buff. What a stupid rule set. Because you get it and then you lose the buff. I agree there. Yeah, it seems pretty strange, it is. I'll be playing, I don't mind another nostalgia trip. No random free trade loot. There goes any shot of me playing. I wouldn't like the random free trade loot, even if you just added free trade. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Oh, this server's is going to be... it's going to be bad. The only one I tried 5 minutes ago. This only want to try it because EQ2 makes more money than EQ1, and they want to see if the gameplay contributes. You get a exactly Vandal. Terrible. Daybreaker took a year and said, "There's no way this could go wrong. Let's do what we do in EQ2 because it works there." And they've had no issues. except EQ2 was designed for it and EQ1 was not. The only thing this is going to do make it easier for MQ Next bot farms and all third-party automation tools to be able to get engages first over legitimate players. You don't even need that. You don't even need third-party automation. All you need is an item that does an instant click, AoE or whatever, and just have it on an auto clicker every 0.1 seconds, and you're guaranteed to get it. You don't need any automation other than an auto clicker. That's just. People are pessimistic, yeah. I don't know. Again, it's that nostalgia. People want to come back and play, but they don't want to do like a Finny clone every single year of just the base. They like this experimenting, and you know, a lot of people like Viniki early on. You can lock the temperate store. Yeah, you could lock that stuff. Yeah. This server, man, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they say. They've put it out, and let's see if anyone's posted any more list of exploits. They're gonna do away with this red very quickly. This red's gonna be gone as soon as you see it. Bot has become functionally untouchable. You can no longer ask them to leave by training them because you can't train them anymore. Redone UI could breathe new life. Yeah, but they're not doing a new UI. They're just doing the engine for now. That a new UI could be a year or two out. Sorry. Yeah, this is not going to be enforced very well because this is going to be all automated. And they may well start the server at gates of Discord. Make rogues and warriors. Yeah, right, the default UI is pretty terrible. The TLP, the people really want a PvP. I don't know how many people really want a PvP TLP server, but there's clearly some people out there. Encounter locking effect on pulling, splitting mobs. You can still do that. Right, if an actively locked NPC loses aggro, it resets. Sounds like it would completely kill the ability to split pulls. Imagine having to fight 100% of the Wrath Council at once during pop. Yeah, no, you can do it. I did that on Yellowknack. So I don't know what people are talking about. You can just lock them down. Some of them get you pull them out one at a time. I don't know, maybe. Like, would it reset the whole thing? Maybe. It has to go all the way home before it resets and unlocks. That might make it actually even easier to split. Well, that's about kind of all I've got, I think, for right now. Thank you for chilling. My kids are going to be home soon and they're going to cause havoc, so I just wanted to jump on a little bit, have a bit of a chat about this fantastic rule set. I mean, let's be honest, I'm probably still going to play in it to some degree just to kind of experience it, right? But I put out a video giving my my first opinion and my first thoughts as kind of in a bit more concise manner. So if we go ahead and watch it, of course, if you haven't, like and subscribe, and we'll see if they change this rule set. They won't do anything quick. We won't find out for like another month if they decide to change it. But you're right, the next few weeks are going to be interesting. Anyway, cheers for chilling out with me. Hanging out and give me your thoughts on this server. Hope you have yourselves a good day, everyone. Cheers, Sean, Talk, Randall, Rasman, Freda. Thanks for your opinions. Catch me next time. Have a good one.